What's going on, guys? Back at it already. Sunday hit up some bench press. Monday threw on some reps for some squats. Tuesday back. Today is Wednesday. About 7.5 weeks out from the US Open, and gonna do another bench session here with Doyle in a little bit. Everything feels pretty good. Weight's down a little bit, which is usually expected after a meet. I lose my appetite for a couple days, but then everything just starts to pick back up and feeling good again. And so woke up at 246 this morning. I want to get that number up to about 250, 255 throughout this training cycle. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to force the issue just to gain weight and make it sloppy. So I'm going to really try to stick to a steady approach and just fill things out week to week. And as long as I'm feeling good and I'm getting in the extra calories, then I can't really complain. Got home from the meet, did a little bit of celebratory food, but right back on track the next day, just getting everything going again, getting the food in that I need to in order to recover, getting the sleep in. Actually sleeping a lot this week. Usually after a meet I get like 10 hours of sleep per day, but then I go back to about 7 to 8 just because I got a lot of stuff to do. Get up early, go for my walks, and get the day going with some client stuff, and move on from there. Came home to this Gains box, which is pretty cool. They decided to shoot me over a Gains box, which I've heard of these guys, but I've never gotten any of their stuff, and it was pretty cool. Comes in nice box. Each month they have a person select it. This month it was Miranda and Julian, which are two top level CrossFitters. Got in some socks, shaker cup, some nitro coffee, some hand cream, which I need because my grip is that of a 2-year-old girl, and just some t-shirts and some other cool stuff. So make sure you guys go check them out on Instagram and get your Gains box. So right now, headed to the gym. Got to get my pre-workout stuff going. Already ate breakfast, about 55 grams of protein, 120 grams of carbs, and probably like 5 to 6 grams of fat. Not a lot of fat because the carbs are still high. Intra workouts, usually 150, 200 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein, and then post workout, roughly about the same. Usually do a bagel with some jam, some rice, and then some chicken and turkey. So that's typically what I have for my main training days. That's what I'm having today. So I'm about to head to the gym, get some training in, get some food in, rest, recover, repeat tomorrow. Deadlifts tomorrow. Catch you guys later. So just going to take you guys through kind of the current weekly progression of how training's going and kind of the way things are set up. Right now, after the meet, I'm doing the first 2 weeks and hopefully going into 3 weeks of benching 3 times a week. Shoulders feeling better, so playing a little catch up here with the lack of volume and overall training I haven't been able to do due to the shoulder. But with the new football bar that we have, it seems to be helping. And then also just doing some doing my shoulder capsule stretch 3 times a day for about 3 to 5 minutes has helped out a lot too. So just all that encompassing is just relieving a lot of stress and a lot of tension in that shoulder area, allowing me to bench a little bit more often. The only thing that I'm doing is just kind of regulating and undulating the intensity and load. So one day I'll do 5s without getting to an RPE 8. The next day I'll go to triples, competition style pauses, working up to a little bit above an RPE 8. And then the next day, if the shoulder's feeling good, the next bench session will be competition pauses around a 5 reps, going into roughly RPE 8 to 9. So one day is going to be a little bit higher repetition with the football bar first, a little bit less of a intensity level, and then the second day competition triples. Even though the RPE is a little bit lighter than the third day, it's still, the triples are going to be heavier weight. And then the third day is hopefully going to keep pushing 5s, competition, pause, bench, and then just slowly, kind of what I've been doing is kind of clustering up. Start with the weight and then just add in 10 pounds to each set, and doing about 4 to 5 sets as long as the shoulder's feeling good, and then usually back down work with same bar but just touch and go, and 4 to 5 sets there as well. And that seems to be helping out a lot, keeping the same movement or the same bar back to back, and that way it'll allow me to get better bar path, bar movement, and just get better technique overall with the actual movement. Even with the Swiss bar, it doesn't really change too much as far as the actual movement pattern goes from a regular bar, unlike the Swiss bar that we had, which threw everything off quite a bit as far as the way it bent and the way it rotated. So the football bar is a little bit better in that aspect. This is the first week back into wraps. Worked up to 3 triples. It was 535, 545, and 555. Everything felt really good. I was happy with the way these moved. I'm happy with the walkout. So looking forward to kind of pushing it up and ramping things up this following week with some doubles and some triples again, and working up to a top set this time instead of kind of clustering up. And that's typically how I do my squats going into a meet. I have a number in mind that I want to hit, and then I just backtrack linear progression style to day 1 and just add 20 pounds each week. And if the weight's good, I'll do 2 to 3 reps. If it feels heavy, I'll just get a single in. But as long as I'm getting the weight done for that day, I'll add the 20 to 30 pounds the next time. So here's Kaylee's last squat before her competition. She took 305 for a single, which is a big PR for her. So she's looking pretty good for the meet. And then she'll have 4 to 5 weeks to peak for Gracie's meet. So with that being said, it is a little bit different between doing mine 8 weeks out and then doing hers 4 weeks out. I would definitely prefer a little bit of a longer period in between. That way you can kind of get a little bit more volume in. Going straight from heavy peaking to heavy peaking is always tough, but like I said, you just have to prioritize the competition that you want to put the most effort into and be at your best. You can't expect to be at your best for one and then perform even better 4 weeks later. I mean, it does happen from time to time, but the expectation shouldn't be there that that's always going to happen. And this is the second bench session of the week. 405 worked up to with the Swiss bar, and then just doing some back down stuff with 315. And then next week kind of add 30 pounds to it and go with 345, and then just keep ramping that up and just seeing how everything goes. Triples on the deadlifts this day, they felt pretty good. Everything's going to be within the double and triple range, trying to stay within RPE 8 to 9 right now. Obviously, if I do a poor job of weight selection, then we'll get up into the upper echelon, but the goal is 2 to 3 reps. If I go for 3 and overshoot it, I'll make sure I get 2 and not grind out the third. And that's kind of the biggest thing that I look for going into a prep, is making sure that the reps are clean and smooth to your best ability. If your technique's not that great, or if you're not that fast of a lifter, it's never going to look the prettiest. But if that's the best you can do with 6 weeks of training left, try not to tinker too much with your setup or with how things are going. Just kind of take what you have, focus on that, and then use the off season after the meet to improve on that and get better. The thing that I see a lot of people do is they'll go into a meet, do what they have to do, and know that they need to improve, but instead of taking the time to improve, they'll pick another meet to do like 12 weeks, 14 weeks later, and they never really take the time to retool or repattern their lifts. So this was the top deadlift triple for me here. It was a 625, moved pretty good. I was happy with it. Always kind of a little tentative with these lifts just because I've been hurt, which you'll hear after the lifting's over, and just kind of easing into it, making sure that everything's going good. Hopefully being able to gain confidence week to week that the injury bug's no longer there. The fact that I'm taking a little bit better care of my body with Epsom salt baths and stretching and massage and stuff. Hopefully that'll kind of rid me of these injuries at 4 weeks out. But you never know with training heavier you get, stronger you get, the likelihood of an injury to occur is a little bit higher. So you just gotta be smart, listen to your body, and take what you can that day, and not try to push it. And just know that if you're healthy going into the meet, that'll be the best opportunity for you to perform at your best. So this is the heavy bench day of the week. Doing triples here, pause triples, and this is Doyle's heavy bench day too, so it works out pretty good on Saturdays that we're able to do this, and it allows my shoulder a little bit of time to heal from the Wednesday's bench session. So worked up to, here's 425 for a triple, kind of the same thing, just added 10 pounds each set just to get a lot of work in, and just to retool everything because I haven't been doing a lot of pause benches. So worked up to 435 for my top set here. It felt really good. Shoulder, like I said, it's feeling better, so there's not as much pain. There's still a little bit of pain there, but the fact that it's improving week to week, session to session, is very, very positive and very optimistic that hopefully I'll be fully healed by the time I'm 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out of Gracie's meet, so that way I can really handle some heavy weight and get it going for repetitions. I don't know if I'll do singles, it just depends on how things feel, but I've been pretty good with getting volume in and going to the meet and getting a good bench in. So still chasing that 500, hopefully it'll be there this meet. If not, I just want the best bench that I can have without re-injuring my shoulder. So that's this week's training, guys. I'll talk to you next week. So that's a wrap for this week's training. Went pretty good. After the meet, everything felt really nice, so able to push this week pretty good. To be quite honest, the last 2 meet preps, I had injuries about 4 weeks out, just little muscle pulls, muscle strains. I'll never call them a tear like some of these other powerlifters do, and then they're, you know, torn quad. Oh, back in the gym the next week? No, it doesn't work like that. But every time I've had a big meet coming up, about 4 weeks out, I pulled something. So I'm kind of being a pussy with my deadlifts and my squats this go around, just to kind of make sure that I can stay fresh as possible. I have the linear progression for my squat all planned out, and then with the deadlifts I'm just kind of undulating them in a linear progression type manner, with a light week and then a heavier week, working up each week on both of them. So hopefully that'll keep me healthy, along with some of the Epsom salt baths, massages, and stuff like that I'm getting. But this week was a pretty good success. Tomorrow we fly out to California for a couple days to train down at CSA with some of my homies down there. Should be good. Jeremy's gonna be down there training for the US Open, and so is Tiffany, so they'll be getting some good training. And then I also got a few clients that'll be getting ready to compete the following week, along with Kaylee. She'll be competing the following week, so it'll be good to get down there, see everyone, get some training in, say hi, and then straight back up here to Portland, where we're gonna be moving this weekend. Still in Portland, just to a bigger apartment, a nicer apartment, but just a lot of chaos, which is life. Never say life is gonna get in the way of training. Life's always there. It's a variable that you deal with on a day-to-day basis. You just do the best you can with it. Don't complain about it. It's your life. If you don't like it and you want to make excuses for it, then change it. If not, shut up and get your training done. So that's what we're gonna do. Catch you guys next time. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And I always appreciate you guys watching.